when the market's confused. Steve strolls in with a chart and some probable news. Troy fires up Omega like, let's model this mess, while traders at home whisper, please help me stress test. It's the show where the candles dance. Volatility takes its chance. Steve says rules, Troy says math. Together they chart a hilarious path. Grab your lunch, don't be late. They'll tell you why the market's weird again. Oh, great. They're calling out levels, volatility rebels, equity drama, and index devils. One guy's calm, the other's pressing buttons fast. Is this bullish? Is this bearish? Ah, depends on the past. So tune in, laugh, and maybe learn too. These two make the chaos look almost doable for you. Every Tuesday at noon, hit that stream real quick, because markets are wild, and these two are slick.
Steve, how the heck are you?
Doing great. Every time I listen to that song, it makes me want to change my profile name to Volatility Rebel.
I see you as a volatility rebel, and what a day to rebel, because volatility is peaked its head. Steve, how the heck are you? How the heck is trading going for you today?
So far, so good. Yeah, we had VIX back above 20 coming into the day pre-market. Quickly dropped a little bit. It's below 19 now, but man, I love me some VIX above 18. If it could just waddle between 18 and 25, I'd be
some of my best trading, 18 to 25. And then my very best trading when VIX goes to like 80, but that's very, you don't get to see that quite often. So
right.
What kind of stuff you've been doing today, Steve? I mean, one of the things we talked about going into this is, for people who maybe don't know, have a set of strategies that they trade on any given day, or they have strategies with like a very particular parameter. This can be a hard day to figure out what to do. What you've been doing today?
Yeah, so I'll kind of give you my thought process of kind of what I was thinking pre-market, and then I'll kind of touch on what I did today. So
yeah,
pre-market, anytime there's some significant volatility pre-market or coming into the day, sometimes I'll pause my initial automated strategies. My British iron condors, for example, my first tranche usually fires about 15 minutes after the market opens. And initially I was thinking that I would pause those and just wait for some later ones to go off, just wanted to watch price action. I watched price action for about the first 10 minutes. There's nothing wild. So I went ahead and just let them go. So they've actually been pretty fine. I mean, we haven't had too big of a range. I let my 1 DTE iron condor fire. It's a no stop trade, so I wasn't really too worried about that. And then what happened with that was, of course, and I didn't even realize this, so a little bit of dumb luck, but I didn't realize that the potential Supreme Court opinion was again rescheduled for today. But it was, and then they came out and said, nope, we're not doing it today. It's going to be sometime within the next month or so. So volatility got crushed, and my 1 DTE was up 30% within a few minutes. So I went ahead and transformed that. I can actually share my screen here if you want to shift it over to me.
Sure thing.
So I talked about this on our last show about transforming, and a lot of times I'll do it on the 1 DTE. So here's my original 1 DTE. We got that quick contraction. It's up. It would be up close to 50% now, but with this volatility, I figured best to just remove the risk and give myself a bigger shot at profit. So what I did is I transformed it into a bullish vertical spread. So just a 2 lot but I've got a minimum profit of 370, a max profit of 1370 if we close above 69.25 tomorrow.
Nice.
So I just figured, with the quick crush involved, just made sense to go ahead and lock in some profit and remove the risk on that one.
Yeah.
So that's what I did from that perspective. And then as far as my day trading goes, my directional stuff, I'll give kind of a 2-minute overview of kind of what I'm doing pre-market. Essentially, what I do is I go to a 1-hour chart, and I go to the major indices. I do it on SPY, QQQ, IWM, and IBIT for Bitcoin. And then I do it on about 8 different stocks like Tesla, Nvidia, Hood, PLTR, all the kind of the main names that I'm considering trading. And what I do here is I simply just mark out some key levels, these dotted green lines here. I'm just marking out places where the market has made a pretty significant pivot in the past, just to give me some levels to manage risk from. So I do that on SPY. Like I said, I do it on stocks like Tesla and some of the other big names, just to give myself some parameters, because if those stocks then start moving and start coming near one of those levels, I want to see how price reacts off those levels and then potentially take a trade. So
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead. Did you say
Stop. Just in awe. I'm just looking in awe. Just saying. Oh
So
my
I do
gosh.
that every morning, and I mean, once you get used to it, it literally takes less than 10 minutes. But I do it on, like I said, the 4 indices, and usually about 8 to 10 stocks. And then, so the 3 stocks that I took trades on this morning, the first one was AMD, and so AMD just kind of shot out of the gate, along with some other chip stocks. So it was pretty apparent early that semiconductor stocks had the relative strength. AMD was one, MU was another one that I was watching. So I ended up taking AMD. So if I dial it into a 5-minute chart, what I was looking at here is AMD made this first push in the first 5 minutes and then pulled back right at previous day close, which is that red line. I got in with calls here, um, and I got in about half size with the potential to add if it kept pulling back. It did pull back to previous day low and to this, the green dotted line that I had marked on my chart from the hourly, and I didn't add. And the reason I didn't add is because it started showing some pretty decent weakness when the S&P and the NASDAQ and SMH were still continuing to stay strong. And so it looked like it was kind of giving up that relative strength and started showing a little bit of weakness. So I didn't add, but I didn't cut it either. I just held, and then it rebounded and shot up, and I hit a couple profit targets and was out of that one for a nice win. The other one that I don't trade that often or almost never, but it's just had some really good higher time frame strength is SNDK. SanDisk, it's been pushing new all-time highs. If we look at a daily chart, this thing has just been on an absolute rampage to the upside. SanDisk.
What do they do?
The only thing I know about is I have like thumb drives that are made by SanDisk.
Oh, that's right. I know I heard of it. Yeah.
I don't know exactly what they do, but they've been on fire lately.
That floppy disk must be making a comeback. I love that.
Floppy disk are coming back, exactly.
Like Oregon Trail style. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been just ripping new all-time highs. I mean, all last year it was pushing, and then starting this year, it's just been straight up. So anyway, I've kind of put that on my watch list, and so I got into my second trade was in this when it pushed above the blue line, which is previous day high, pulled back, and as soon as it started to bounce off that, I got long with some calls and hit profit target. It came back. I added a tiny amount, and then it didn't do much, so I ended up cutting out, but still a nice winner.
Yeah.
And then my third one was PLTR. And this one started to show some strength a little bit later, pushed through highs of day, pushed through previous day low. And when it started to bounce here, I got in with some calls. It was showing some really good relative strength compared to the market. Caught this move up here, hit a profit target, and then it just kind of fizzled out, and I cut out. It was a small winner, but 3 winners, 3 for 3.
Not bad. Not bad on a day like today. And like you said, the joy of days like today is you can really get some movement that can cause some stocks on some upturns to really move more than they would on a normal basis, just because they're down so much or they're up so much sometimes, to play the mean reversion. So
yeah, and coming into a day like today with the volatility spiking and the market down big, a couple of things. I definitely didn't want to get away from delta neutral, because on this little bounce that we've seen, just looking at SPX, for example, just on this kind of sideways little bounce that we've seen, and the news of the Supreme Court not doing the tariff announcement, we've seen a tremendous amount of volatility crush. So being in any kind of delta neutral, printed pretty quickly. So I definitely didn't want to get away from delta neutral, but my emphasis when things are moving and there's expected to be some range, I definitely move my focus more to directional trading, because that's when they really shine.
Yep.
When markets are chopping sideways, it's really difficult to trade directionally, just because you're going to get chopped up.
No, that's 100% the case. I mean, but you do both, Steve. I mean, that's the cool thing about what you're doing. So I want to ask you about something that I see a lot in your community, but I have bad memories because Sesame Street scared me as a kid. And so, everybody loves them, but I see him more as a demon. Tell me about Elmo.
So
it's the intro, isn't it? It's quite the intro.
Yeah. I'm not sure where to go with that. Right. I've got demons in my head now. Yeah. So, we always just give our strategies goofy names, just because they're easy to remember. Instead of having to describe them every time we bring them up, we just, have a name that everybody knows what that means. But Elmo, the name Elmo really came from, really just, in our community, we have different variations of what we call price action iron condors, which is simply just waiting for price action to look attractive to sell 0 DTE premium. We're just looking for pockets of consolidation where we can book some profits. And so we have 2 of our members, and hang on, give me 1 second, because my Elmo just hit its profit target.
Hello.
What a great segue that was.
Timing.
Hang on 1 second. Let me just get this posted to the community.
I love that. And you too could be part of the community getting this post, navigationtrading.com.
Elmo hit profit target. All right. So it's a price action iron condor. We're looking for pockets of consolidation to enter. And so if you look at SPX on a 5-minute chart, so we kind of dipped, we started to bounce, and then we started to kind of chop sideways. So that's when I entered the trade, just looking for potentially, price to kind of chop in a range and book some profits, which is obviously exactly what happened here. And so, but why do we call it Elmo? Well, we've got one of our members, his name's Elliot, and we've got another member who goes by Moel. So they're the ones who kind of started trading it, and so we just combine the names and we call it the love child of Elliot and Moel, aka Elmo. But it's essentially just an iron condor, and I've actually got a 1-pager on it. Let me see if I can bring that up.
Yeah.
Where is my
the old search for the stray window?
Elmo 1-pager. There we go.
Hey,
and we got a picture. We got a picture of him too. Let's see if I can. Whoa, there's Elmo big.
He's
in charge. So I'll kind of go through this, and you can give this out in the show notes or whatever.
Put it in the show notes.
But the philosophy, we're looking to take advantage of theta decay by entering the trade in a period of consolidation. If price stays in our range, we profit. The strategy, we're selling an iron condor, 0 DTE SPX options. We typically target a fixed premium of somewhere around $3.50. I went a little bit heavier, went to about $4 plus just because there's so much premium today. And our long strikes are at least 50 points away. I went 80 away, depending on the IV environment and personal risk appetite. And it's very simple, just simply looking for a 25% profit target. And then I have my stop loss typically at 50%. I actually widened that today. I used more of an in the money strike stop because of the high premium today.
Yeah.
But typically around 50% is the stop. And, there's a level of discretion. I mean, this is not a back tested strategy. It's not a super mechanical. There is discretion on when you enter and things like that. But the managing of the trade is pretty mechanical. That just kind of breaks it down. And then this just kind of explains, getting out at a lower price than where you entered because we're selling it for a credit, 25% profit target. So that's what just happened. I had put that on and then was in it for about 30 minutes and it hit that profit target and it's done.
Now, how many of these will you put on a day? Because I feel like I've seen, maybe I could be wrong. I feel like I've seen you do this a couple of times in a day before.
Yeah, I usually, I would say the average is 2. When premiums were really low and, VIX was hovering in the 13, 14, 15 range, really there's not a lot of premium to deal with unless you get in one early in the day. So sometimes I was, getting in 1 or 2 in the morning and then really just nothing in the afternoon. On a day like today, when there's some serious juice in the premiums, I'll be looking for more opportunities to do these. And sometimes if I wasn't doing the show, I probably already would have gotten in another one. I don't necessarily wait till I get stopped or hit a profit target. Sometimes I'll chain smoke these Elmos together.
I love what you just described is like my wife would come in right when someone's like, and so I'll chain smoke those Elmos together. Like, what do you do during the day?
The good thing about the Elmo is there's a lot of good memes we can use for Elmos. So.
Oh yeah. Now, I mean, listen, Tickle Me Elmo was a thing that, it was past my prime a little bit, but I remember it being kind of the last great toy, war of Black Friday.
Yes.
And so I'm glad he's back in the news. Well, Steve, I don't want to keep you too much. I know it's a busy day and we're all trading a lot. So this will be a shorter one today, but I'll put the Elmo in the show notes. That type of stuff is what they're doing all day, over in your community. And, the discretionary stuff, like I said, on a day like today, when it's moving, when it's popping, you can get some big movers and, trading it in the way that you do, limiting your risk as you go. It's just a smart way to trade discretionary. And so people can find you where, Steve?
Navigationtrading.com.
I love it. And
in the Discord all day, every day. You can even
Discord.
tag me in the Option Omega Discord. I'm in there from time to time as well.
Yes, sir. So, well, listen, be safe out there, guys. Have a good rest of the trading day, and we'll be back on at 3:30 for Small Account Challenge. So talk to you soon.
Cheers.